Hello and welcome to this presentation on CareerLocker and Employability Online. This is Amy Rivera, the CareerLocker training representative. Let's get started. The page that you see is the login page for CareerLocker. CareerLocker is the career development website developed by the Center on Education and Work at UW-Madison and is going to be localized for the country of Australia. I'm going to move over to the Australian version, Employability Online. Here we can see the Employability Online graphic, and I'm going to log in as a current user. The page that you see here, this is the professional homepage. This is the page that professionals will see when they first log into Employability Online and CareerLocker. We have usage reports that are available. The usage reports are good for the professionals to see what occupations the students are viewing, what's the most visited occupation, the most visited college and school, those kinds of things. But to access the student site, we are going to click on or hover over this tab that says student site. I'm going to click on year 10, 11, and 12 just to give you an idea. Now this page that you see is the student homepage. The students will see this particular page when they log in. Now we're looking at Employability Online. I like to mention that I'm going to be going back and forth between this version, Employability Online, and the CareerLocker version, which will have the different graphics, but they will be the same thing. So the students, when they first log into CareerLocker and Employability Online, they will see this home page. It says, "Welcome back, Amy. Employability Online is your tool for career awareness, exploration, and planning." And then we have these options at the top: assessments, occupations, education, job seeking, and planning. And then everything that the students do is saved into their e-portfolio. So when I click on assessments, I am taken to the assessments homepage. Here I have the ability to take the personal globe inventory, the employability skills assessment, the work values inventory. I even have a learning styles inventory. But our big one is the personal globe inventory. This is a validated inventory which was developed by Terrence Tracy from Arizona State University. Um, if I go to my current CareerLocker webpage, I can show you my results of my personal globe inventory. The personal globe inventory actually matches up students with students' interests to occupations that match their interests. And so when we look at the personal globe inventory, we look at I'm going to look at one of my old results here. And so according to the most recent personal globe inventory that I have taken, I actually, it looks like I score high in realistic and conventional. So my interest is light blue. I'm high in realistic and high in conventional. So my RIASET codes, the RIASET codes are based on John Holland. He developed, John Holland is a career development theorist who claimed that people in the world of work, fall into 6 different categories, and he titled them the RIASEC codes. RIASEC stands for realistic, investigative, artistic, social, and enterprising and conventional. And so, for example, realistic people frequently work with practical hands-on problems and solutions, whereas investigative people, they frequently work with ideas or finding answers to problems. They're logical, observant, curious, artistic. These people work with images, creativity, independence, perceptions, these kinds of things. And so according to my most recent personal globe inventory, I score high in realistic, and conventional. Therefore, my personal globe inventory or my RIASEC code is RC. And if I click on Explore Occupations, my website, CareerLocker and Employability Online, will give me suggestions on occupations that match my interests. So, for example, I should check out cartographic technician, or I should check out laboratory equipment preparers. Now, if I'm a student and I don't understand what a cartographic technician is, I can click on this link. I can also click on the radio button, and it tells me that I'm blue, and I can compare my interests to a typical person that works as a cartographic technician, which is the red. So I'm very close and realistic, and I'm 70, but a typical person that works as a cartographic technician is 86. Um, Now, the check mark means that I've actually visited this occupation. The star means that I've saved this occupation as one of my favorites. But when I click on this link, I have left the assessment section and I've moved over to occupations. Now, this page gives me a description on what cartographic technicians do. So here, at least in the United States, cartographic technicians prepare maps, charts, and digital products. They research and identify the location and names of natural and constructed features and political boundaries. So basically, the cartographic technician makes maps. Um, and then when we look at the education path, so this was about the job. We look at all of these items on the left-hand side, the education path. So employers require cartographic technicians to have graduated from at least an associate's degree program in the mapping sciences. And I should probably major or pursue a program in either cartography or surveying technology. The outlook, so what are my chances at finding a job as a cartographic technician? Here we can choose the state. So here in the US, we're looking at Wisconsin, but we can change the state. And for those of you in Australia, we can change the states to all of the Australian states and the Australian territories. But it looks like here in the United States and Texas or Wisconsin, it's very difficult to find a job as a cartographic technician. We can look at the salary information. So how much is a person looking at going to make as a cartographic technician in the state of Wisconsin? An entry-level person would be making about 26,000 US dollars per year. An experienced person would be making about 63,000 US dollars per year. Now, here in the United States, we look at yearly. These are yearly salaries, and then here we have the per hour column. Now, it looks like that I've saved this occupation as one of my favorites already. But if we go back to assessments, we go back to the personal globe inventory. Let me give you some examples. If I click retake the assessment, what the personal globe inventory does is it matches the students and matches the interests to specific occupations. So, for example, how much would I like to do each of these activities? And there are 40 questions in each part. So, the part one, we're going to be rating how much the student would, or how much you would like to do each of these activities. And then the second part, you would be rating how good you think you would be at doing these activities. So I don't think I would like to seat patrons at a restaurant. I might be able, I wouldn't mind managing a hotel, but I would not like preparing financial reports or running a data analysis group, as I hate math and all mathematical concepts. I'm an artistic person. So I'm going to click next. And would I like to install electrical wiring? No, thank you. Categorize different types of wildlife? Yeah, that actually might be nice. Sculpt a statue? Yes, because I'm that artistic person. Help children with learning problems? Yes, because I'm also a social person. So in reality, my RIASEC code is AS for artistic and social. And once we're done, all of our items get saved into our e-portfolio. And so anytime somebody completes an assessment or even starts an assessment or inventory in CareerLocker and in Employability Online, the assessment and inventory results are saved in the career or in the e-portfolio under assessments. The other big inventory, now I like to, let me look at where I lost my other page. Here we can, the other big inventory or assessment is the learning styles inventory. This is where the students indicate how each statement describes them. So, do I learn best when I study alone? Yes. When I do math problems in my head, I say the number to myself. No. I understand a math problem that is written down better than when I hear. Yes. So the learning styles inventory will actually give me my study skills and then give me improvement or suggestions on how I can improve my study skills. So for example, where's my learning styles? Here it tells me that my learning style, my general learning style here, I learn best by hearing. And if I click on view full result, here it will recommend ways that I can improve my study skills. And so my general learning style, I learn best by hearing. And so it tells me that I should use word association to remember information, record presentations for lectures, watch videos. My math learning style, I have to see the math. So it recommends that I copy everything down, view the diagrams, draw the diagrams, visualize the information. And then my social learning style, it tells me that I learn best with others. So it recommends that I always study in a group or with other people and watch videos if possible. So that was assessments. I'm going to go back to Employability Online. That was assessments. The students don't have to take an assessment in order to research occupations. The students can go directly into clicking on occupations. And so we can find occupations either based on, we can enter the text, we can look up the first letter, we can enter a salary, or we can enter one of the 16 career clusters. I'm going to click on A, and I'm going to go to accountants. Now, here we can sort each of these occupations that begin with the letter A by typical education or by salary. But I'm going to click accountant, and then here again, I'm at a page that gives me a description of accountant. The typical education is here, at least in the United States, a bachelor's degree. The Outlook, we have the Wisconsin Outlook, but for Employability Online, we would have the Australian Outlook or the state or the territory Outlook, and then the career cluster and pathway information. The education path, that was one of the other things that I wanted to mention. So here it tells me that for entry-level positions, employers usually require a minimum of an associate's degree, but many ask for a bachelor's. And so we should major in either, we should pursue a program in accounting or taxation. And when I click accounting, I've left assessments. I'm not in occupations anymore. I'm actually in education. I'm at the page that gives me a description on what accounting as the program is. And so here in the United States, we call them majors and degrees. But we will change that for Employability Online. I believe they're called programs of study, those kinds of things. So this page gives me a description on what accounting, the program, is all about. We can look up graduate admission, the typical coursework. I really like the typical coursework page. This tells me what, if I want to pursue a degree in accounting, what kinds of courses am I going to most likely be taking during my college career, during my university career. And then down here, we can find TAFEs and universities that offer this program. And so here, when I click on this, it'll take me to a page. Now here, I'm going to look at all of these. Let's look at Sitka campus. Here, Sitka offers a bachelor's degree in accounting. And now I'm at a page that gives me a description on this particular organization. This is Sitka campus, which is in Sitka, Alaska. It's a 2-year college. It offers certificates, diplomas, associates, bachelors. And then we look at all of the information on the left-hand side. So we can research the general information, the school name, the student body, the costs, financial aid, and all of this stuff. So actually, I'm going to go back. I'm going to look at Alaska Pacific University because Alaska Pacific University is in Anchorage, Alaska. I have actually visited Anchorage, Alaska. Aunt, my aunt Linda lived in Anchorage, Alaska when I was a teenager, and she brought me up to stay in Alaska, in Anchorage, for a month during the month of June. And it was in Anchorage, Alaska, and all of Alaska during the month of June. The sun does not set. And so it was very strange and difficult for me to get used to being able to go to sleep in Anchorage in the month of June when the sun didn't set. It was very, very strange. And so that was very fun. I was just a teenager when I visited Anchorage, Alaska. But you see here, this particular university, Alaska Pacific, we can look at the general information. We see that it's a private university. They offer certificates, diplomas, associate's degrees, bachelor's, master's. We even have a link to the school's website. So if I click on this, I go to Alaska Pacific University's website. I'm going to close this guy. We also, oh, I lost my, there we go. We can also look at the student body. So we have the number of undergraduates, the costs. So the annual costs for Alaska Pacific for 2016-2017 in state is 19,900. Now that's US dollars because Alaska is US state. So 19,000 US dollars. Financial aid, the information is here, the admissions, academics, what kinds of programs are offered, student services. My favorite is the majors and degrees. So if I do decide to pursue a degree or a bachelor's degree from Alaska Pacific University in accounting, what other kinds of programs are available there at Alaska Pacific in case I want to change my mind? And so here is a list of all of the programs that are offered at Alaska Pacific University, just in case I want to change my mind and change from getting a degree in accounting to maybe finance or human services or something like that. Now, if we want to save this as one of our favorites, we can click the Save button over here on the right-hand side. Here it tells me that it's already saved. It's saved in my ePortfolio. So we got here by clicking on occupations, by clicking on find occupations. We clicked on A, then we looked at accountants. We clicked on an education path. So if I want to be an accountant, I can research the education path that's needed. Then we clicked on accounting as the program. And then we looked at the universities or the TAFEs that offer this major or degree. And then I found from the list, I found Alaska Pacific University. And so here it looks like there's a lot of Alaska universities, and we can do what's Kodiak College. Kodiak College is located in Alaska as well. So we have a lot of the Alaska universities, no big deal. But here again, we can click save, and it's saved as one of my favorites. We can also look up occupations based on interests, by labor market stats, by career clusters, and by work skills or employability skills. We can go directly into looking at education. So we can look up TAFE and university qualifications. I know that, again, it says majors and degrees here, but we'll be changing this to localize it for Australia. It's going to be certificates and programs or something of the such. But let's say that I'm going to click on TAFE and university qualifications. I'm going to find a university in the state of Victoria. Now here we haven't quite put all of the Victorian colleges into the database. So what you are seeing on the screen are Wisconsin schools. But again, if we click on one of these, here I'm at a page that gives me a description of one of this specific Wisconsin school, the general information, We have the school name and address, and then we have the majors and degrees or the programs that are offered at this particular school. So specifically, Mid-State Technical College offers a farm business and production management diploma, which is a 1 year program. And again, we can save this as one of our favorites. It's saved into the e-portfolio. Lastly, we can look up the job seeking tools, or we can do some kind of resume with the resume maker. And our resume maker contains 3 different types of resumes. We have a functional resume. And if the students do not understand what these different types of resumes are all about, which normally we don't expect them to, here we have the description. So, for example, the functional resume emphasizes the skills, knowledge, and experience. It's useful for recent graduates. The chronological resume focuses on just work history, and then the combination is actually a combination of the two. And we can build a new one of these, or we can view the samples. But if I click on build a new combination resume, the way that Employability Online and the way that CareerLocker.com works is that these are step-by-step items. So, for example, I'm going to build my resume, Tanya Honeychurch in Melbourne, AU, in the city. Oops, actually, I'm going to do the address is 1234 Honeychurch Drive in Melbourne. And of course, we'll have the state of Victoria, Victoria, the postcode. I'm just going to put a random. Oops, I think I have too many here. And then the country, Australia. And then we can enter all of that information here. I don't think it's going to let me do. Oops, too many. Okay. And then we can do save, and we can keep going through. We can enter our skills, our education, our work experience, volunteer experience, all the way down. We can even change and reorder and add headings. We can add extra items. And to give you an idea of I have a sample resume out there under the resume maker. I can look at one of these. Here, when I've completed my resume, I have my resume example listed. I can export it as a Word document, or I can print it out directly from the website. We also have tools such as a cover letter writer, a reference list writer, which is very important. And then we have online modules that help the students learn about these different things. So, for example, we have a resume module that helps the students learn about the different types of resumes, along with a coming soon job interview module, which helps the students learn how to behave, to prepare, and to follow up with interviewing, and then teaching the students about the importance of networking. Lastly, we have the plan of study. This is an item where the students can actually build a plan that leads them to graduation. And so we have a couple of versions. We have a high school version and an adult version. And so the high school version is equivalent to, let me see here under the plan of study, it would be equivalent to the secondary or the tertiary plan, where the students are 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. And then the adult plan of study would be equivalent to either secondary or university, where the students are planning on graduating from university. They can plan out all of their years. So, for example, if we look at this very first item, we can do Madison University, save and continue. We can select some career clusters. So I'm going to do finance. I'm going to do accountants again. That's one of my favorite items to use as a sample. And then we can add classes for each of these grades. So here in the US, 9th grade is a whole year worth of schooling, and then 10th grade. So these are 4 years. I'm going to do something like English 101 worth 3 credits, and then the note, let's say Mr. Smith. Let me save this. We can add another class. So let's say my 9th grade year, I'm going to be doing Spanish 202 worth 4 credits with Ms. Rivera. Once we've completed, we can reflect on our plan of study. So we can look up job shadow information, volunteer experience, work experience, school activities, and then we can look at our overall plan of study. So far I've entered only 7 classes, or I'm sorry, 7 credits with 2 different classes. And so we can see here that my whole plan, my whole 4 years of secondary school or college or pre-university have been mapped out here. Here in the US, it's ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. And then for adults, we would have first year, second year, third year, fourth year, those kinds of things. Now, lastly, before we wrap up today's webinar, just as a reminder, everything is saved into the student's ePortfolio. So when I click ePortfolio, this is my storage house. So I can add anything into my ePortfolio. We have a dashboard. We can look up the most recent items such as the personal globe inventory, occupations, employability skills. But over here on the left-hand side, we have these items, these what's the word that I'm trying to think of a word here. Each of these tasks. So I can enter my personal information, my contact information. I can add notes. I can add a personal statement. I can add educational accommodations. We can go all the way down. Each step goes down. So assessments, this is where all of our saved assessments are saved. So if I look at, I've taken all of the assessments. I've taken the personal globe inventory, the work values, the work skills, the learning styles. I can always go back to my ePortfolio and review all of my old assessment results. So here I've finished the self-awareness inventory. I can click on this link and view my results. Students do have the ability to take each of these assessments as often as they want to, and they can go back and review each of the assessment results, or if they have not finished an assessment, they can click on the finish this assessment and start up where they left off. We also have a spot to save all of our skills and abilities. So if we want to highlight our skills and abilities, here we have languages, computer and digital media skills, other skills and abilities. We have a spot to save academic records, achievement test items, graduation requirements. We can save all of our activities. So if I've participated in any extracurricular activities, any service learning, athletics, leadership, volunteer, any accomplishments. So if I want to highlight any awards or honors, publications, any licenses or certificates. Now the where am I going section, this is based on, this is where all of our favorites are saved. So, excuse me. So any favorite occupations that we've saved, today we saved cytotechnology. Actually, I saved that, yes, a couple of days ago. Cytotechnologists, perfusionists, any favorite occupations that I've saved, any favorite career clusters, favorite colleges and schools, majors and degrees or programs. And then under the how do I get there, my plan of studies, any plan of studies that I have built, the job seeking profile, this is where all of my resumes are saved under the resume maker. I do have the ability to add work experience. I can add any letters of recommendation if somebody has written me one and emailed it to me, any cover letters, any references, any kinds of things. And then miscellaneous is for any extra items. But students also have the ability to create their own sections. So if I click manage, create my own section, for example, let's say that I want to save all the school visits that I have done in Melbourne. I can click add, and then let's do this one. Let's do Trinity College. Let's say that visited Trinity College on November 10th, 2017. And then we can do up to December or something like that, 2017, ending December 2017. And so I've saved this as my own section, Melbourne. I'm going to manage this one. I'm going to put Melbourne visits. Edit Melbourne visits. There we go. So over here on the left-hand side, you see that this extra section, Melbourne visits, I just added it and it appears here on my left-hand side. Lastly, the students do have the ability to add a photo or to share their ePortfolio. So when we click Share My ePortfolio, the students can enter the person's name and their email addresses, and the ePortfolios will be shared through email as PDF items, PDF documents. I guess that pretty much wraps up. Oh, the dashboard, the last thing, the dashboard, the students have the ability to customize their theme so the students can change the colors of their ePortfolios. And so I just changed the color. My favorite colors are purple, so I had my programmers add some purple colors in here. All right, well, that pretty much wraps up today's presentation on Employability Online, which is a customized version of CareerLocker, which is housed at the Center on Education and Work. If you have any questions regarding Employability Online and CareerLocker, please do not hesitate to contact Tanya Honeychurch or myself here at the Center on Education and Work. Thank you for visiting. Thanks for watching, and I am over and out. Have a great day.